live from Las Vegas. This is 13 Action News. Good morning, Las Vegas.
Right now, it's the final push ahead of the midterms. Politicians and celebrities out on the campaign trail urging you to vote. A community coming together to remember Angelina, her life taken too soon. This as we learn more about how that suspect died. Plus, as we head into cooler weather, health officials are surveying locals what they learned to help us prepare for next year's heat. But first, did you remember to set those clocks back? Check this out. Daylight savings time came to an end just a few hours ago, giving you an extra hour of sleep. This is one of the clocks right in our newsroom. It looks like the Twilight Zone just spinning there, it goes back an hour automatically. Well,
but now I understand what it's doing.
So it's nice to have an automatic one that goes back automatically because, like, we were just talking about how much.
Sitting up here.
We have one at our desk that sits here. We've both been we've been playing with this thing like it's a Rubik's cube or something, trying to figure out how to set it. But I mean, it's a lot of stuff between.
It's always this time of year.
Between the stove and the watch, like you got to like reset everything.
We're busy.
But
we are busy.
We are busy, but I mean, the benefit is you do get that extra hour of sleep, and we have some nice weather to do stuff outside.
We have great weather today. We have a beautiful sunrise. The sun is coming up at 6:06, so it's on its way. Check this out. Gorgeous clouds out there this morning, too. Clouds are sticking around. They were here yesterday. They're going to be here today. They'll probably clear out as we head through tomorrow, but there it is. A beautiful, beautiful start to what will be a really nice day today. Here's a look at your wake-up weather. Sun's up, as I mentioned, at 6:06 a.m. Expecting temperature about 60 degrees. Some clouds sticking around throughout the day today. 63 by about 8 o'clock. And then as we head into the 10 a.m. hour, 67 degrees again with some clouds sticking around. Here's high temperatures expected around the valley today. We will be warm once again, running above average for this time of year. 75 degrees in North Las Vegas, Southern Highlands 76 degrees, Boulder City 75, Mount Charleston expecting a high temperature of 64 degrees, Centennial Hills 76 degrees. The warm weather sticks around until we get to the end of the work week. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We will have some winds coming in Thursday and Friday, cooling us down, especially overnight. We'll talk more in depth as we head through the hour together. Tom?
All right, thanks, Gina. Well, politicians and celebrities all out on the campaign trail urging people to get out and vote. Many voters are taking advantage of early voting. 27 states plus the District of Columbia already surpassing their early voting totals from the 2014 midterms. At this point, just 4 years ago, only 17 million people had voted. Here's ABC's Ty Hernandez with the latest.
President Trump on this final weekend before Election Day, holding rallies in Montana and Florida, supporting Republican candidates.
A Republican Congress means more jobs and less crime. A Democrat Congress means more crime and less jobs.
The vice president also out on the trail.
We're securing our borders, enforcing our laws. We put that caravan on notice, and we've already started to build that wall.
Joe Biden, even with laryngitis, lending his voice to Democrats as they attempt to take control of the House and Senate.
You got to show up and vote and remember who we are. This is the United States of America. There's nothing we cannot do.
Celebrities also looking to get out the vote. Comedian Amy Schumer visiting students at UNLV on Friday.
Did you vote yet?
Not yet. I was going to be.
Were you going to go?
It's a good day to do it.
How about we go together?
Yeah.
Georgia seeing the same trend. More than 1.6 million early votes already cast. On the ballot there, Democrat Stacey Abrams campaigning Saturday with civil rights icon John Lewis. Abrams hoping to become the nation's first African-American female governor.
We're going forward. We're not going to stand still. We're going to redeem the soul of this state and the soul of our nation.
In addition to the record turnout, we're also seeing a record number of women running. 16 women running for governor, 237 for the House, and 23 for the Senate. Women now poised to reshape the political landscape. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
Well, if you missed early voting, there's still Election Day, and studies show many people don't vote because they have to work on Election Day. Well, turns out, though, there's a law that protects you and your job. Here in Nevada, businesses are required to give employees 1 to 3 hours of paid time off so they can vote. You must notify your employer before Election Day, though. Employers can set that time for leave to minimize the impact on their business operations. Well, the community coming together to remember Angelina, an 11-year-old girl who was killed in her own home after suspected gang members targeted the wrong house. This comes as we learned that a 19-year-old suspect has died after a neighbor shot him trying to get away. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter spoke with Angelina's family as they remember an innocent life gone too soon.
we lift up this community tonight and this family.
Along Courtney Michelle Street in North Las Vegas Saturday night, there wasn't a dry eye. As a community with candles in hand remembered Angelina, just 11 years old, an innocent victim. She was killed after being shot multiple times by suspected gang members after they opened fire from the street and into her home. The family inside, and police say the shooters had targeted the wrong house.
Those bullets weren't made for my baby girl.
Angelina's father speaking out for the first time, with Angelina's mom and sisters by his side, unable to grasp how this could happen.
We do harm to no one. No one. We live by Christ as much as we can. Everybody that knows her knows how big her heart was.
Tonight's vigil, not only to mourn, but to remember the incredible person Angelina was. Her cousin Miguel, while in pain, touched by the outpouring of support.
When tragedy struck, we all came together, and makes me more, happy and proud of the community that I grew up in.
And the family facing a long road ahead. But if there's one thing for sure, it's that they won't travel it alone. They've got a community here now want to be there for them, a family who is always lending a hand to their community.
I don't know if it's going to be a week. I don't know if it's going to be a year. I don't know if it's going to be over a decade. Well, we'll get through this, okay? We'll get through this.
Just an awful story there, and police say 3 suspects involved in that shooting are still out there this morning. Angie's family hoping that if anyone out there has any information, that you'll give police a call. And there is also a GoFundMe page set up to help Angelina's family with funeral costs. We have a link to that on our website as well. Just head on over to ktnv.com. Well, now that the triple-digit weather is over, the Southern Nevada Health District is asking neighborhoods how they can better prepare for next summer. It's all part of a community assessment for public health emergency response. 13 Action News reporter Cynthia Maldonado tells you why teams spent all day talking with neighbors.
It's a simple conversation teams from the health district are having with Clark County residents. They're going from house to house asking them how the hot weather impacts them during the summertime. Extreme heat is a top concern for the Southern Nevada Health District.
We had 123 deaths in 2017 that were heat related, and 40% of those occurred during the months of July.
The summer's sweltering temperatures affecting those at home and on the streets.
It's not unique to any one. Our access and functional need populations, which would include the homeless, is a high concern, but also children, our senior Americans.
Jorge and Rebecca are out surveying the southeast side of town, hoping to get answers on their 21 questionnaire.
Mostly we're asking kind of some basic information. Do they have water and food for 3 days? Where they would go for cooling stations.
Well, then we're going to get the results that's going to inform everybody in the community.
They're talking to residents like Timothy Martin.
I've had a heat stroke.
Who's been vulnerable to the valley's hot weather.
After I had that heat stroke, they told me you can't go out, you're going to get nauseous and dizzy, and I do, so I have to stay indoors when it's hot.
The district hopes the information they collect will help residents stay cool. Reporting, Cynthia Maldonado, 13 Action News.
Well, a fundraiser held to bring awareness to leukemia and lymphoma. 13 Action News participated in the Light the Night walk last night. It was at the College of Southern Nevada. Chopper 13 represented our station at the event, and tons of families received some Vegas Strong bracelets. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society provides patient support services and advocates for life-saving treatments. And today is your last day to check out the Vietnam Veterans Memorial's replica. Dubbed as the Moving Wall, it sits right next to the Nevada Supreme Court building. The wall was created to help people who can't travel to Washington, D.C. It's open to the public from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. today. And just as a heads up for you, we have a list of Veterans Day events and specials on our website. And remember, that holiday is coming up next Sunday, November 11th. You'll find everything from parades to food discounts and much more. Just go to ktnv.com. The Vegas Golden Knight fans celebrating this morning, the team beating the Carolina Hurricanes right here at home 3-0 last night. And a big congratulations to goalie Marc-Andre Fleury on his 50th career shutout. And of course, that also means fans are getting some free donuts from Krispy Kreme. The Knights back on the road on Tuesday as they take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the popular Cosmopolitan Ice Rink will be returning later this month. The Hotel Casino will transform the Boulevard Pool into a winter wonderland and open it to the public on Wednesday, November 21st. It includes 4,200 square feet of real ice, and you can also roast some s'mores by the fire and experience light snow showers. Plus, its annual tree lighting ceremony will be hosted by none other than Vegas Golden Knight Derek Engelland. That'll happen on Wednesday, December 5th. Well, today is the last day of the 3rd annual Taco Festival. It's going on at Craig Ranch Regional Park from noon until 6 p.m. More than 15 of the best taquerias here in Las Vegas will be there, including some vegan options. There will also be some exotic cars, cultural performances, and even a taco eating competition. General admission tickets just $15. Can't go wrong with taco anything. So good morning, everyone. Well, coming up, can the Golden Knights help people find love? We speak with a group of singles hoping the answer to that question is yes.
I'm meteorologist Gina Cancelleri, and yes, the sun just came up. 6:06 was the sunrise this morning, and the sun will set later this afternoon at 4:42. I have your full forecast as we head into the next hour together.
All right, well, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are back, and it only took 15 years, right?
Bad Boys 3, it's happening. It's official. It's official. I'm telling you.
The two confirming on Instagram this week they're locked in for Bad Boys for Life. The day after Lawrence posted a picture of himself with Smith and said it's official, Smith shared the video on Instagram. So they're coming out with they're coming out with a third one.
Yes, it's official. It's official. Got it.
It's also officially time to turn back the clocks.
It is, and so we're having a hard time doing that.
A progress report. I have it. I have it blinking now. Okay. So we need to get it back to the minute now. So we'll see.
I'm really happy you're working on that because I've tried. It's
all right.
Sometimes these clocks are just not that easy.
Okay. Yeah, we almost have it. So
right.
I think we'll have it in a second. By the time you're done with your forecast.
I hope so. I mean, we have big hopes here.
That's my mission.
Yeah. Well, the same thing's going to happen at my house later. Probably happening. I mean, it's just going to go on all day. All right. At least we have some good weather to do it for. Here it is, Stratosphere camera outside right now. The sun is up. 6:06 is when the sun came up, and we will continue to lose daylight each and every day as we head into the winter solstice, which will happen toward the end of December. Temperature right now, 56 degrees outside, barely a breeze out there. Not talking wind today, not talking rain either. We're talking warm weather. Average high temperature this time of year, 73 degrees. That's what I'm expecting at noon. As we head into the 3 o'clock hour, 76 degrees. So we're warming up again. Yesterday was warm. Today is going to be the same thing. 6 o'clock, we're still going to have some clouds around, 71 degrees at that time. As you head into the 9 o'clock hour, 66 degrees, again, with some clouds. The clouds are not bringing any wet weather to us. Here they come down from the north. It looks pretty ominous, this picture, but I promise you it's not. We're just going to have clouds out there today, not bringing any rain, not bringing any wet weather. They will continue to move from south to north to south, and that's all it's going to do. It's not going to really change our weather pattern at all. So here's a look at the weather where you live. High temperatures expected today in the upper 70s, as I mentioned, 76 degrees for Aliante. Summerlin, 71 degrees for high temperature there with the clouds. 75 degrees for Sunrise Manor, Nellis, and North Las Vegas. Barely a breeze today, not expecting any wind gusts either. We had some of those yesterday. Spring Valley, 74 degrees for high today. Mountains Edge, 75. Rhodes Ranch, 73 degrees. Again, no wet weather expected. Green Valley staying dry. 75 degrees, Anthem 74, Southern Highlands 76 for a high temperature today. These numbers are warm for this time of year. Lake Mead 76 degrees, Boulder City 75, and Henderson 76 degrees for a high temperature there. So when will it cool down? When will we be back to average? That's going to happen toward the end of the work week. As we head through the beginning, though, staying warm. 77 for Monday, 76 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday into Friday, we are going to see some big changes. The wind will pick up. Cooler weather will move in, especially overnights. We are talking the coldest weather we've seen so far this season. 47 degrees is the overnight low. As you wake up Friday morning, it will be a cool start to that day. Then as we head into Saturday, same sort of deal of next week. Tom?
Right, well, love was in the air as a local group of singles met to watch the Vegas Golden Knights this week. The group started on Facebook, the creators calling it a nice alternative to dating apps like Tinder and Bumble.
You see something that sparks your interest, maybe someone posts their dog or posts something about their day or posts something funny about the Knights or hockey in general like that, kind of sparks your interest. You get a conversation going, you're privately messaging them or whatever. So it's, I think it's a little bit more personal.
And if you're interested in joining the group, you can find them on Facebook under the name Vegas Golden Knights Singles for the Love of Hockey. We have a direct link on our website, ktnv.com/links. Well, it's a song some Packers fans may have never heard or even knew existed, but 98-year-old Dorothy Vanderloop has been singing it for more than 9 decades. Take a listen.
Go, you Packers, go and get 'em. Go, you fighting fools, upset 'em. Smash that line with all your might. A touchdown, Packers. Fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, that's the Packers' original fight song, something that Dorothy learned when she was just 6 years old. The mother of 13 was born a year after that team was created, and she's cheered on the green and gold her entire life, even watching the Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi-led teams win their Super Bowls. And fun fact, the team's 100th birthday is on August 11th, 2019. Well, straight ahead, it's a violation that happens often. Rideshare drivers picking up your kids. Darcy Spears investigates why they say no one's trying to fix it. You're watching Good Morning Las Vegas. We'll be right back on your Sunday morning. Stay with us. Well, it's a violation that occurs on a daily basis. Drivers from Uber and Lyft picking up young children without their parents. Though it's against company policy, Chief Investigator Darcy Spears found this dangerous practice is rampant across our valley, and drivers say no one's truly trying to stop it.
Okay, and who's the 18-year-old? And I need to see ID of the 18-year-old.
That's what Uber says it encourages drivers to do when they arrive at a pickup to find a child waiting for a ride.
You guys, we're not allowed to pick up unaccompanied minors.
This driver, who asked us to protect his identity, took this video when he was booked by a father to pick up 5 underage girls at Bishop Gorman High School. Their response when he denied the ride?
Everyone else does.
Yes.
That is what many drivers do in violation of policies for Uber and Lyft. Both companies require riders to be older than 18 to use the app or ride alone.
For one, I think it's the parents. They're the ones ordering it, and the problem is the driver's willing to take the risk.
He says there's a financial incentive to break the rules because drivers get bonuses based on how many rides they complete each week.
This is a big problem.
Barry Werman drives for Uber and Lyft in Phoenix.
I've had 8 or 9 year olds that I've gone to pick up at 10:30 at night.
And here in Las Vegas?
The child was about 10, 12 years old, somewhere around there. And I had to bring him to his mom's yoga class. So I went ahead and took the child knowing that I would be a safer driver, guaranteed, compared to maybe some other drivers.
With more than 7,000 rides, Frankie Guarino has been driving for Uber and Lyft since they first hit Las Vegas streets. He says there's a big loophole in driver background checks.
You guys do go through background checks, but they don't fingerprint, right?
That is correct.
And he knows unsafe is an understatement when it comes to the risk children in rideshare face. Case in point, Samer Maran of Huntington Beach, currently on the loose and wanted by police after failing to show up last week in an Orange County court. He's facing multiple felony charges involving the drugging and rape of an unconscious minor teenage girl in the back seat of his Uber car. Her parents had booked the ride to bring her home.
If the kids aren't supposed to trust people with trust strangers, why should the adults trust their kids with strangers?
Last October, police near Miami, Florida say this Lyft driver, 43-year-old Julio Perez, confessed to sexual battery against a 16-year-old boy. Police said Perez picked the boy up from his high school and drove him to his home where he attacked the boy.
And I won't put my kid with a stranger.
This driver says the rule about unaccompanied minors is buried deep in the terms of service that most people don't read. So most riders don't know it's against company policy, and most drivers don't tell them.
And he's my teenager. And he's like, "Ma, we all use Uber." And
Adrian Simmons' situation will sound familiar to many busy Valley families.
I have 3 kids. They're all in soccer, working full time, so schedule is crazy. My husband and I are always on the go. And sometimes one has to be at this location, one has to be at this location. And my son was like, well, I'm just going to call Uber to take me to the soccer game.
She says he's never been questioned by the drivers who pick him up.
He's never been denied a ride. I mean, now that I know there is a minimum age, I probably will think twice.
Both Uber and Lyft confirm unaccompanied minors are not permitted, but neither would provide an on-camera interview. Uber's statement added, "When we confirm that an Uber rider account has been created by a minor, we remove the account holder's access to Uber. Account holders who allow unaccompanied minors to use their account to ride can also lose access." The drivers we spoke to question the company's commitment to pursuing reported violators.
You get a canned response that it's against the policy and we're not going to match you with these guys, and we're going to try to investigate. What really happens to them, we don't know.
When we asked, both companies declined to tell us how many riders and drivers have been suspended or deactivated for violating the policy. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
Good morning, Las Vegas. Still ahead this morning, talk about the right place at the right time, how a Texas police chief managed to save the baby of a frantic mother. Plus, a taste of Italy coming to the Strip, but the new restaurant also needs some employees. We'll tell you when you can start applying. Stay with us.
Now, live from Las Vegas, this is 13 Action News. Good morning, Las Vegas.
Right now, officials discover parts of the Lion airplane that crashed last week. What those pieces mean for the rest of that investigation. A celebrity joining the fight for energy choice, like Property Brothers star Jonathan Scott says he had to take a stand on what the other side is saying about question 3. And those Halloween pumpkins probably still sitting on your porch, right? But there's an event right here in the Valley today where you can get rid of it and have some fun at the same time. Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Tom George. Hope you set your clocks back today for daylight savings. We want to start with 13 First Alert meteorologist Cancelarian. We have been struggling setting this clock that sits on the anchor desk all morning. I finally got it set, and the language was in Italian. I got it back to English. I've been on a roll.
You're a show-off is what you are. You are showing off your skills, and I may need you to come to my house later. We probably all need you to come to our houses later. So many clocks, so hard to do, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there, and we have great weather today to do it too. Really a beautiful day shaping up. Temperature right now 56 degrees. There are some clouds out there, and there will be clouds as we move through the day today. They won't bring us any wet weather though. We are staying dry. Temperatures will be warm for this time of year. By 7 o'clock, 58 degrees. By noon, 73 degrees. Topping out the day in the mid to upper 70s when we should be in the low 70s for this time of year. Then as we head through the evening, expect the clouds to stick around 68 degrees by 8 o'clock tonight. And as I said, the high temperature today will be 76 degrees. When will we cool down? I have the answer in the 7-day forecast coming up a little later. Tom?
All right, thanks, Gina. Well, search teams in Indonesia have found the turbine engine and some other parts of that Lion Air flight that crashed. The search teams used a crane that was attached to a ship to lift the engine, aircraft walls, and a wheel. Meanwhile, officials say that muddy waters and the depth of the sea are making their work tough. They have been able to get a ping signal from the cockpit voice recorder, but they've not been able to locate it just yet. Well, it's early evening now in Iran, but this was the scene there this morning as Iranians held a massive anti-U.S. protests around the country. This comes after the U.S.'s decision to reimpose crippling sanctions on Iran that will go into effect Monday at midnight. Those sanctions target the country's oil and gas sector. They were lifted back in 2015 as part of the Iran nuclear deal. Iran's supreme leader has criticized the renewed sanctions, saying President Trump has disgraced America. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has praised the move, calling it historic. Well, new details are surfacing about the shooting inside a Florida yoga studio that left 2 people dead and 5 others injured. Authorities have now identified the alleged gunman and the 2 women they say he shot and killed. We're also hearing about what the people inside that studio did to protect themselves. Kim Hutcherson has more.
Just minutes after a hot yoga class was scheduled to begin, shots rang out. Tallahassee police say an Army veteran walked into Hot Yoga Tallahassee Friday evening and opened fire. Investigators say people inside the studio fought the man, hoping to stop his violent shooting spree.
And tried to not only save themselves but other people, which is a testament to their courage.
Most of them survived, but 2 women lost their lives. They've been identified as 61-year-old Dr. Nancy Van Vessem and 21-year-old Florida State University student Maura Binkley. 5 others were injured, including 1 woman who was shot 9 times. Tallahassee Mayor and Florida gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum met with the victims and reassured survivors.
I would ask that the community continue to lift up the victims, those who are still recovering from their injuries.
On Twitter, his opponent, Ron DeSantis, called news of the shooting heartbreaking and said he was praying for the victims and the community. Police say the gunman, now identified as 40-year-old Scott Paul Beerley, turned the gun on himself and was found dead inside. Investigators say he acted alone and there's no threat to the community. The motive for the shooting is under investigation.
We are working diligently to try to link a connection between him and any of the victims.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Well, a California man now being called a hero for getting a woman out of a burning car just seconds before it burst into flames.
I thought she was dead. So I was kind of hesitant at first, and then all of a sudden flames started coming out the hood. So I knew, for her sake, I had to either do something.
Sebastian Picardi says he was first at the scene outside that crash near Los Angeles. He pulled the woman from the car, and now just days later, they got to talk on the phone, and the woman got to express her gratitude for what happened.
You definitely deserve the
I wouldn't say it. I'm just glad you're okay. That's the only thing that matters, to be honest with you. It really is.
You're my hero. I've never had a hero in my life.
Picardi says he was just doing what anyone else would have done. Good to see people doing good in the world. Well, from one rescue to another, extraordinary new video this morning shows a Texas police chief in the right place at the right time. The Splendora police chief was driving when a mother pulled up next to him asking for help. Her baby wasn't breathing. The chief called paramedics and started CPR. Thankfully, he was able to get that baby to breathe before the ambulance arrived.
Within about a minute or so, baby's eyes rolled back forward and started to immediately breathe and cry, and it was just such a relief.
Heroes all around us, and the chief says he was just doing his job. We'll now take what may be the most confusing issue on the ballot this year. Question 3 is the fight nobody here in Nevada can seem to get away from right now, with ad after ad popping up on TV. 13 Action News reporter Brian Callahan breaks down some of the key arguments in what's already become a $100 million fight.
All these Question 3 ads bombarding voters in the final weeks of the election cycle, and they can be confusing because both sides are citing stats that contradict each other, starting with how this all could impact your wallet.
Our rates are 17% below the national average.
37 other states with cheaper energy than Nevada. We're number 38. That's not good.
Property Brothers star Jonathan Scott says he got involved in the energy discussion after putting solar on his Las Vegas home and seeing the fight over the state's power. He says he had to do something.
My brother and I have a no BS policy.
Scott is now one of the faces of the Yes on 3 campaign. He and other supporters citing Energy Information Administration stats showing electric rates 14% lower in states with energy choice. But the EIA acknowledges the different sources of power in each state make it extremely difficult to compare. Opponents pointing to a report by the Public Utilities Commission showing the Energy Choice Initiative would likely increase rates for Nevadans in the first 10 years, with that same report saying rates would possibly go down once the transition is completed. Those same opponents saying one of the riskiest parts of Question 3 is that the changes would be to the Constitution, giving state regulators and lawmakers limited control over power companies.
You lock something into the Constitution, it supersedes everything that came before it. If things go wrong, if Question 3 were to pass, it would actually take a minimum of 4 years to reverse.
Scott acknowledging the change shouldn't be made lightly, but saying something has to be done to push innovation.
But we also have to make sure that we're not so stubborn that we're sticking with old school ways that don't function in a new world. We have technologies today, we have industry today that didn't even exist back when this Constitution was written.
Looking to the future of the energy market, Scott says the competition that Energy Choice would bring is the only way to push forward the solar potential of Nevada's climate.
And we have more opportunity to make money in renewable energy than anybody else. We should lead the country, and we should even lead other countries. We should lead the world.
But opponents fighting back, saying NV Energy would have to halt planned solar projects because of the deregulation, and they say it's highly doubtful competition would make the investment in the market to push forward renewable energy.
Reality is when you deregulate a market, electricity providers that would enter the state, they're not going to make investments, millions of dollars in investments in renewable energy.
Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
All right, well, now that Halloween's over, you might be wondering what to do with those pumpkins. Well, today there'll be a fun pumpkin recycling event. It'll be at the Silverton Casino parking lot. Pretty cool here. People are expected to launch those pumpkins. All that leftover mess will then be collected and composted into soil. That's all happening from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The event is free and open to the public. Well, a new upscale store and restaurant on the Strip is hiring more than 500 people at an upcoming event. Italy Las Vegas features a variety of Italian products. It also includes a cafe, a restaurant, and some live cooking demonstrations. It's expected to open at the Park MGM in December. That hiring event is happening tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Park MGM Presidio Ballroom. They're looking for full-time and part-time employees. Managers will be interviewing people and making offers on the spot. Well, good morning, everyone. Coming up, a refresher on the basics, the best things to pack for your lunch so you keep your energy up and you don't wear down too quickly.
That coffee looks pretty good right now. All right, here's what's also looking pretty good right now. Our weather planner for the day today. A few clouds around, temperatures running above average, but barely a breeze out there, and we're staying dry. I'll let you know when we cool down. That's in your 7-day forecast, all coming up.
All right, well, you see the hashtags and the mustaches, but do you know why Movember is a thing? Well, the point is to raise awareness about testicular cancer. It's a huge fundraising campaign through the Movember Foundation. It's one of the top non-government donors to prostate and testicular cancer research. Charity Navigator gave it an 87% score for finances, accountability, and transparency. It says the campaign raised $18 million last year, and that 3/4 of that went to health-related programs and services. The foundation wants to use this year's money to launch a massive education campaign early next year. It'll be called 50 Million Men. The goal is to establish resources to help improve the health of 50 million men. Well, wouldn't it be nice to stay energized throughout the entire workday? We know that all too well here in the morning show, but Scripps national correspondent Annie Taylor shows you what you need to pack for lunch to help keep you going.
Breakfast. It's one of the most important meals of the day, but a lot of us, we go for coffee.
No, I love breakfast. I never skip it.
But for 31 million Americans, they skip breakfast every morning, according to a recent survey. I reached out to a registered dietitian to find out the best foods to pack for work. For breakfast, if you can have overnight oats, which is oats, milk, and chia seeds with a side of Greek yogurt and berries, that should tide you over until lunch.
Now, as for lunch goes, it's all about the pack and prep in advance, but we know that can be challenging.
Honestly, walking back to Whole Foods here a lot of the time. The salad bar is really busy and it's great.
Pick a protein. Veggies, fruit, Greek yogurt, and whole wheat crackers.
Usually 2, maybe 3 o'clock hits, I'm exhausted and I hit that wall where I am so hungry. And guess what? I'm not alone.
If it's not a coffee, I have a bunch of snacks at the office like beef jerky and trail mix and things like that.
So usually in the afternoon when we hit that slump, the first thing we do is go directly for the caffeine, and that's totally fine to do. Just make sure you stop drinking caffeine about 6 hours before you go to bed so it doesn't affect your sleep. And I know you're probably wanting to grab maybe a candy bar to keep you going, but put away the candy and make sure you have some protein, maybe a piece of fruit. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
All right, well, more and more Americans are dining at Applebee's, and the restaurant says it has stress eaters to thank for that. The company's president credits the jump in customers to Applebee's focusing on comfort food and cheap alcoholic drink specials, adding stressed out eaters tend to order more drinks. No. Well, no, right? Well, a while back, Applebee's heavily promoted healthier fare, such as seared and grilled food, but no. Analysts say customers don't visit Applebee's for that kind of food, causing their sales to fall.
At least they're honest.
At least they're honest, yeah. They're
Honesty is the best policy.
Just depressed drunks, that's our core demographic that they're trying to
And it's working, they're winning.
They're winning, yes. Yeah.
Let's go weather. What do you say?
Sounds good.
I know, we have nice weather today. Just like yesterday, nice day today. There was a little bit of a breeze yesterday. I do not think that we will have that today. We should have a really, really gorgeous Sunday for you. Sun, of course, coming up at 6:06. Maybe you heard, maybe you didn't. Did you know you were supposed to fall back this morning? Did you know that right now it is not yet 7 o'clock? At 7 o'clock, 58 degrees, and it should be calm. 10 a.m., 69 degrees. We're going to have clouds around today. No wet weather, though. As we head into the 1 o'clock hour, 75 degrees, and as we head into the 4 o'clock hour, hour. Expected temperature 75 degrees. It's going to be a warm day today, just like yesterday. So the day will pretty much run the same way. We will have, though, a change in the forecast, and I'll tell you about that in the 7-day coming up. First, though, let's remind you that, yes, we have fallen back. The sun came up this morning at 6:06 and will set this afternoon at 4:42, and our days will continue to get shorter as we head into December. Here are the headlines as we head through the day today. Staying warm, as I mentioned, staying dry too, and we do have a cool down coming, but that's later. Here's a look outside right now. It is a nice start to what will be a very dry, calm day. Temperatures in the 50s for everyone, close to 60 degrees in North Las Vegas, 59 degrees right there. 56 degrees in Las Vegas, Boulder City 55, same thing for Centennial Hills and Summerlin. The Henderson Airport 53 degrees currently. That is the cool spot. All right, high temperatures today expected in the mid to upper 70s when we should be in the mid to lower 70s for this time of year. Centennial Hills expecting 76 degrees. Mount Charleston, nice day there, 64. Blue Diamond expecting a high of 68 degrees and Henderson also 76 degrees. So here's what's going to happen over the next 4 days. We're up and down temperature-wise just by 1 degree when we should be down to 72 degrees. As we head into the end of the week, we're going to cool down. We're going to see a big change in the satellite here as we head through the end of the week. Everything will clear out. The clouds will be gone. The wind will pick up and we'll have cooler weather. There it is, Thursday and Friday cooling down. Friday morning will be particularly cool. But until we get there, we do have a nice couple of days for you lining up here. Lows will be in the 50s, highs will be in the 70s. But then, as I said, Thursday and Friday, it's going to get cool. Highs in the upper 60s, lows in the upper 40s. Tom?
Yeah, and that cooler weather might get you in the holiday spirit. Well, when Good Morning Las Vegas returns, how you can kick off the holiday season with your family. Details on the annual Cactus Garden lighting. But first, let's head on over to New York for a look at what's coming up on Good Morning America.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, the countdown to the elections with just 48 hours until Tuesday's midterms. President Trump standing behind Republican candidates and former Vice President Biden's plea to Democrats to head to the polls. The politicians and even celebrities rallying the nation to vote. Plus, the newly released polls, what they reveal about the president's approval ratings, and an exclusive interview with the man championed as a hero for confronting a gunman who opened fire on a Florida yoga studio. What he's saying about the harrowing scene and how he channeled the courage to intervene. It's all coming up on GMA.
Well, Halloween's over, so fair game to start getting into the holiday spirit, right? And the holiday's right around the corner. And what better way to celebrate in the desert than with our annual holiday cactus garden lighting? It's a yearly tradition for a good cause. And joining me this morning is Lisa Vanderson with Ethel M Chocolates and Abby Quinn with the help of Southern Nevada. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Yeah, so this is a really cool tradition. I mean, very Vegas, right? A cactus lighting. You know,
Very, right? Yeah.
So.
Do you want me to tell you a little about it?
Sure,
okay,
absolutely.
Great. So this Tuesday night, November 6th, we are kicking off our 25th annual lighting tradition in the Cactus Garden. So we're super excited. We have a great lineup planned for that night. We've got the Magic Duo of Penn and Teller. We have Las Vegas Philharmonic. We have British singer-songwriter sensation Matt Goss. We also have a local a cappella duo, Jacqueline McSpadden and Paul Johnson. And then last but not least, a longtime favorite of Ethel M's, George Wallace, who's a comedian here in town.
That's
so
like
really excited.
Yeah, no, that's like a star-studded lineup for sure.
And
yeah.
a little bit of everything for all the family to come out and enjoy.
And for people that have never been out there, what's kind of the setup? I mean, it's an actual chocolate factory, essentially?
It is. So we're in Henderson, and it's our chocolate factory and cactus garden. And on that night, so this Tuesday, it starts at 5 o'clock. It's free to the public, and all we ask is that you bring a donation to help our local charities of either an unwrapped toy or a non-perishable food item.
That kind of segues into our next guest here, you know, so this all for a good cause, right? So you're with Help of Southern Nevada. So you guys are getting a lot of the benefit of that. So how will that kind of help here in the community?
Help of Southern Nevada, we work 365 days a year, but our holiday programs is really large. So we're looking to assist 2,500 families with toys, gifts, and bikes. So partnering with FLM, it's a great way for us to grab some of those toys from people, and it's perfect because you're looking to come to the cactus lighting with your family and you can bring a toy and it gets you entry into the event. So it's a win-win for both ourselves and for the guests coming to the event.
Cool. So this has been 25 years you guys have been doing this. Wow.
Yes, yes. It takes a long time. The guys start decorating 2 months in advance.
And of course, you can always pick up some chocolates while you're at it too. What's some of the favorites right here?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have some new stuff this year. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't run to the store and get this today, you're silly. This is delicious. These are caramelized pumpkin spice pecans.
Pumpkin spice is like big for,
I know,
it comes with like everything.
They're just the best thing ever. We also have a holiday mix here that has some eggnog and pecan pie flavors in it. We have champagne and cherry cordials, as well as our new 5-piece box up front, which is perfect for a hostess gift. It's a really great item just to take and give to someone who's already pre-wrapped, looking really pretty with our bow and ready to give.
Yeah, and so just again for our viewers, so it's this Tuesday, right?
This Tuesday night, November 6th from 5 to 7. Get there early, seating is limited, and just bring a toy or a non-perishable food item.
Yeah, sounds like a good time and a good cause for sure. Well, hopefully we'll see a lot of you there, and thank you guys for being here this morning.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
We'll see you guys after the break.
Alrighty, we do have a nice day in store to change all of your clocks. We just can't get over it over here. We're trying to change everything. All right, temperature right now, 57 degrees. We have some clouds out there. Clouds will be sticking around all day today. They will not bring you any wet weather. We are staying dry. As we head into noon, 73 degrees. As we head into 3 o'clock, 76 degrees, above average once again. And then as we head into the evening, we will start to cool down. High temperature expected today, 76 degrees. We will have a major cool down as we head into the end of the week. Tom, look at it.
40s in there, wow.
I know. So Friday morning is going to be a cool start at the bus stop and anywhere else you head that morning. So get the jackets ready.
All right, and change those clocks.
Change your clocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for making Good Morning Las Vegas part of your day. GMA on up next. We'll see you back here at 8.